Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the fifth installment of the PSN Podcast. I know you're thinking, don't you mean the fourth? No, that's a long story. The fourth is still in production. We're gonna work on that. But for now, this is the fifth, and I am your ghost. And today we have Emmcord with us. So, Emmcord, introduce yourself.
Hello, thanks for having me. I am excited to be here. I am Emmcord and I do animations mostly.
Well, it's great to have Emmcord on here. Certainly one of the more popular people on PSN at the moment. And you guys are probably thinking, this doesn't sound like a real person, or at least I hope you aren't, because it doesn't. And it's not, because for people who are not willing to talk or unable to talk, we are using a text to speech thing. So this is the first time we're trying it out, and I mean, it's not too bad as long as you can get past the part that it's fake, but it's not terrible. So there you go. Anyways, so Emmcord, how did you get started? What is your origin story of PSN, and why did you want to be here?
Okay, so, I used to be really into video game art, like sprites and stuff, and I wanted to make my own but I didn't know how, so one day I was just looking on the App Store for pixel art apps and I found Pixel Studio. After a few days of using it I found Pixel Network, and I thought it would be cool if I too could have people look at my art, and then I made my account, later learned I'm not bad at animation, and the rest is kinda history.
Well, that makes one of us, because as I've expressed before, I absolutely suck at animation. So there's that. Anyways, so when you started, was there anyone who sort of inspired you, or any people that you thought were some of your favorite artists on PSN?
Actually, to be perfectly honest, when I first joined, and I still was new, I didn't know really anyone. I was just kinda doing my own thing for a good while. I don't remember really having anyone inspire me for the first year or so of being on PSN, but over the years I've come to know more people and interact, and some people that inspire me now are. CRJ is definitely someone who inspires me, especially when I do more retro-looking art, and also the Bean himself. I really like his art. It's really stylized and I just think they are pretty cool people.
Oh, yeah, CRJ does some great retro art. I've seen it in action, and great stuff, great stuff. But anyways, so you've been around here for like 3 years, I believe, if I'm correct at least. So, and recently, of course, you've seen more and more followers and more support. Just explain that road of kind of like how you got to where you are now.
Okay, so as you probably picked up earlier, I started off doing more retro, more video game art, because at the time I actually dreamed of having my own indie game studio, and the name would have been Studio Royal. Anyways, I was trying to make like a logo/mascot for the studio, and I said to myself, hey, since the name is Studio Royal, why not be a crown for a logo? So I was messing around with designs and I ended up drawing a crown with only two of those little pokey parts on the top, and over my time on PSN the little logo slowly gained eyes, a body, and eventually turned from this metal crown dude to his own thing, and then after a while, I made a post for a challenge. It was Emmcord as a child playing with little toy blocks, and then I started to animate more and more and I realized that I actually had some talent in hand. Obviously I think most of us know that after that baby Emmcord post, I locked myself out of my OG account and had to make a new one, that ended up becoming Emmcord2 smiley face.
Yeah, that is the worst when something like that happens and you just like lose all your progress. You have to start all over again. Something similar has actually happened to me before. But anyways, I'm not going to call you a fortune cookie. Apparently, you go by the crown thing. I actually had no idea about that, but I've called Emmcord a fortune cookie many times in the past, and I think we have a little bit of a rivalry now. And he's trying to become more evil, I guess. I don't know, but anyways, what do you like about Pixel Studio? What's your favorite thing about Pixel Studio, or things? It can be multiple.
Okay, so about the whole fortune cookie thing, I always feel weird talking about Emmcord's lore and stuff, but in the lore there is a universe that is the PSN universe, and the Emmcord in that universe is actually canonically a fortune cookie. In every other universe though he is a made-up species. Anyways, some of my favorite things about Pixel Studio are, and call me selfish or whatever, but I love when someone gives me fan art or mentions me. It just makes me feel included and like I'm cared. About a known member of this community, another thing I like is one of my own posts. I am beyond proud of my most liked and viewed post, which is my 11 o'clock post that I made a good while ago now. I think it as of now has around 650 or so likes, and over 1,000 might even be a million views on PSN. And speaking of big projects, I may or may not be working on another 11 o'clock level animation right now.
Well, I'm sure everybody's probably really excited to see that, especially considering all the likes you got on that. So that's pretty crazy. Um, I will say, and I've said this before, your art does kind of remind me of Zane Little, like the style there. Like I was just saying the other day, the freaking thing where it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat this gum." But yeah, I think it's really cool what you do. So cool stuff. Anyways, on the opposite spectrum of things, what is your least favorite thing about Pixel Studio? What do you not like about it?
Okay, so things I don't like, let's be honest here, the PSN community does have a lot of great talented people in it, but also the general state of PSN isn't that great, especially with all the drama and stuff that keeps floating around. It's not a great feeling. Another thing I dislike that also kinda goes with the first thing, is that there are just a lot of, let's just say less than great people on PSN. And I know there is no real way to change it, but it's not great.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. It's a double-edged sword, really, as I've said many times before. There's a lot of good and bad to PSN, but it's kind of goes from person to person. But anyways, another question: what is your? Do you have a career plan for the future? Like, what are you wanting to be or planning to be when you get to that point?
So actually after a while of making animations I have come to realize that animation is something I find much more interesting and fun to do than the alternative of spending most of my time trying to figure out where did I forget a syntax in my code that also took me a long time to learn, and back to the whole Studio Royal thing. While it was originally meant to be an indie game studio, I have decided that it will be an animation studio making shows and movies, and I already have an entire TV show planned out about Emmcord and his lore and conquering the evil that lies ahead. Also, just to clear this up, it would not look anything like my current animations, which now that I say that it seems kinda obvious, but yeah, that's my plan for the future.
Oh wow, that's really cool. I've always wanted to do something in a film or animation or something like that, but I am not very good at animation, as I've said. But hey, if you're ever doing that at some point and you need a voice actor or somebody to do music, count me in, please. I will definitely do something like that, probably. But anyways, on to another subject. This has been kind of a funny subject to suggest, but actually kind of a creepy one at the same time. But what is your personal hell? Like, what is the worst thing imaginable to you that would be used as a torture against you? So, weird thought, but it's a question.
Okay, interesting question actually. If I had to think of what my personal hell would be, I'd say that it would be a world where nobody cared about me or didn't include me in anything, especially if I was a part of the group or community. This actually kinda sounds related to PSN now that Eve said it. I guess to sum it up, a world where I wasn't appreciated.
Okay, that's pretty interesting actually. It's like a all odds against you story. So you're it's like you're the underdog but you never succeed. So yeah, that would definitely be terrible for me as well. I've been in a situation with an old friend group like that where it's like you're technically in the friend group but it doesn't really feel like you're a part of it. So yeah, yeah, that'd be pretty terrible if that was just all of your life. So yeah. Anyways, with all that being said, is there anything you would like to talk about? Just like any subject. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to PSN, but any subject you would like to talk about.
Okay sure, I actually want to list some people who I feel deserve a shout out. First I would like to give one to Bazi Jinnah. Sorry if it's not pronounced right, but I just think they are a cool person, they make cool art, and they have given me quite a bit of fan art which I appreciate. Next I would like to mention Alice. They are a really good friend and they make good art which you should check out. You can't see it but I'm pointing at the camera. Anyways, that's about it from me. I don't know if there is anything else you would like to say.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, be sure to check out those people. There is one more thing, and it'd be do you have any plugs to mention, like anything else outside of Pixel Studio, or just Pixel Studio that you want people to see and you want people to check out?
I have a Discord server, it's really cool, Check it out, you can find a lot of cool well-known people in PSN there. We are always accepting new members, and the main goal is to try to prevent verbal harassment. The whole server was basically made by me as a place where opinions can't be used to hurt others, but still be heard and accepted. That's about it. Thanks for having me.
Alright, you heard the man. Check out his Discord. I'm there as well. It's a great place to be. Check out my Discord as well, too, because we are always accepting new people, too. But anyways, thank you, Emmcord, for joining us for this episode. It's definitely an interesting one with the text-to-speech stuff. But yeah, it's been a blast. See y'all later.